What's up, Mystic Manifesting family? Nick with Mystic Manifesting here. And it's been a minute, once again, since we've done a video. But I'm motivated. We finished up the live early. I did so much time talking and lecturing that I didn't finish my cigar. So instead of sitting here doom scrolling through TikTok and inundating my mind with bullshit, I decided, why not make a video with all these lists of possible videos that we could talk about? I've got a couple of them. So the first one kind of coached off the lecture that I just did, and I didn't really fully like the lecture that I did because I feel like I was a little too distracted while doing it. Doesn't mean that it was bad, but in my mind, I feel I could always do better. And that's something that I live by in life. It's just elevating everything you do can be better the next time you do it. And you can learn something from it. So it's not really the point of this video, but something I'm putting out there. But I want to talk about where your attention goes, energy flows. I first heard that from Reverend Ike, and it's a very true statement. Whatever and it translates roughly to whatever you're focusing on, that is what you're going to bring into your life. Same thing as what you reap, you sow, right? So where your thoughts dwell dominantly is what you're going to manifest into your world. Now, if you want to go from a law of attraction standpoint, it's very much like think positive and positive will happen. It will be very general. Law of assumption is more specific. You're assuming something to be true that may or may not be true in your 3D at the moment. 3D translating to the real world right now. It may not be a fact in the present moment. Your eyes might not see it, your ears might not hear it, and you might not be able to see or feel or touch this manifestation in the real world. But you have to activate those senses in your mind, whether it be through visualization, meditating, keeping it with you before you go to sleep, holding that image before you go to sleep, through scripting, through revision meaning that there was probably something bad that happened in the past that is blocking you from reaching that goal. But wherever you're dwelling most often is what you're going to bring into this reality. Now, let me shorten it and condense it a little bit. That was a short condense. Let me expand it. Let's blow it up and expand it out. Where there could be some contradictions to this, I guess. You're focusing on, okay, this negative event happened. Your person left you. You lost a job. You're stuck in a job that you don't want, but you need. You're low on finances and you want to have more money. We don't say, I don't want to be poor. We don't say that I want to fix things with my specific person. We don't say that, then this is talking about repetitively. You could say it at first, but you don't stick to those thoughts. What you say is, this specific person loves me. All jobs want to hire me. I have plenty of open options for jobs. Through saying that, you are focusing on all of those things opening up, all of these new possibilities opening and becoming something that you can experience, and simultaneously removing attention from what you do not want. Now, we do have to know what we don't want, and we have to name it so we know what we don't want. I always liken this to like a demon, right? And the demonology stuff, right? The stuff that you don't want is like your personal demons. And even something fitness wise, like the body and stuff like that. It's like a body you don't want to have, right? You want to be in better shape. You want to do this. You want to do that. You want to be more active. You want to be healthier. Not just, and maybe if there's like an illness or something, you want to move the attention to, I'm whole, perfect, and fine right now. And or somebody in your life is sick, and you want to move that attention to seeing them as healthy. I've told the success stories about my mom and my uncle. I've told the success stories about myself, and we've had people go through injuries and stuff like that and overcome it. So all areas of life can be changed, but you have to focus on the desired outcome and what you want to experience in life versus continuously going back and fighting with what you don't want and pretending somehow that you don't see it. You have to see it. Say, okay, here's where I am. I write it down in my manifestation book, right? Here's where I am at this current moment. What is my self-concept in relationship to this specific thing, person, whatever it is, person, place, thing, situation? What is my relationship to it? How do I see myself in this situation? Do I feel I deserve to be in this situation? If so, why? And you break it down. Why do I feel this way? How do I feel about myself? How do I feel about this situation if it were to change? Do I feel I deserve to have the better version? And if I don't feel I deserve the better version, what can I do actionably to get myself to that level where I feel I deserve it? You want to be healthier. Going to the gym and maybe just walking on the treadmill versus never going to the gym is a big step. You're not going to become Mr. Olympia or anything crazy from that, but you are taking an actual actionable step that builds motivation and momentum to drive you towards that goal. Because you went one day, it's not as hard to go the next day. And then when you've built so much momentum, you'll feel like, you know what, this is possible. Or if you miss a day, you'll say, you know what, I always go to the gym. I'm an athlete. I go to the gym. Even if you're someone who doesn't, you just change it. You focus on what you want. You focus on the end scene. You have a target now to go towards, and you do not let yourself ever come back. And when you do, and you're spiraling and you think about it, the best way to do that is to remove attention from it. If you cannot break that attention, that's where a technique like revision comes in. You go back to that past circumstance or whatever you feel is holding you to the thing that is upsetting you and making you feel not worthy. You go back to that situation and you play it in your mind again and again, or you script it out on a piece of paper, the desired way, the way that you would have wanted that situation to play out. And when you are done, you drop it and you don't go back to it. And you'll know you're done when you don't feel you need to go back to it. You know that one good time sitting down and reaching that feeling of this played out the way that I wanted it to, you'll be fine. You'll know that I don't need to go back to it. Because if it played out the right way, why did you keep thinking about it? It means your subconscious is not impressed. The same thing goes with the future event. Damn, the cigar died during that. We're going to make a couple videos, I guess. The same thing with the future event, right? You're going to focus on the future event only the way that you want to experience it. And if it hasn't happened yet, you're not going to keep looking around for it. You're going to trust that it's going to play out that way. I have a couple examples written down here about what you're focused on. Old Testament stuff. I don't usually go Old Testament. I like to stay New Testament as my examples of things like with the teachings of Jesus and all that, but there's a very good story. A lot of good old stories and parables from the Old Testament. For example, King Saul's story. King Saul's the predecessor to King David. King David's the one king, was it David and Goliath? He defeats the giant, stuff like that. So the king before him is King Saul. David saves the army. Everybody loves him. And he welcomes him into his house, and he wants him to marry his daughter, and his son becomes David's best friend. But he develops a jealousy and a fear that this kid is going to take the throne. The kid did not want the throne. David didn't want that. He wanted to hang out with the king's son. He wanted to serve the king. He wanted to do everything to help the kingdom. But King Saul believes something else, and he focuses on it. He tries to kill him, and David's wife, which is Saul's daughter, helps him escape. And then he runs and he hides in the mountains, and Saul pursues him, and he sends people to kill him, and he keeps going after him and going after him. Multiple times David has a chance to kill him. He doesn't kill him. He tells him, I'm just giving you a warning. If the only person who's going to kill you is God, do not follow me, do not pursue me, do not attack me anymore. But he cannot let go of this fixation. And the more he focuses on David being more powerful, the more he focuses on people loving David, the bigger David's army becomes. He rallies people behind him because he's so focused on this. Everybody starts to leave Saul. They start to hate Saul, and they move to liking David. He made his own bed in that story. Let's move to fiction, right? Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars has dreams of losing Padme. He winds up becoming the one, spoiler alert, he's the one who kills her in the end. He breaks her heart and chokes her and all this stuff. It's a real domestic violence situation there. It doesn't turn out well. He's the one who destroys his own life because of the fears of the dreams he's having. And he sets out taking a bunch of actionable steps to stop it out of fear, breaking all his codes, breaking everything he believes in, breaking everything he knows to be true because he thinks he can do something to stop it instead of trusting that it's going to work out in his favor. He winds up being his own downfall. Saul is his own downfall. And in life, we are often our own downfall. We develop a fear. And if we don't nip that fear in the butt and end it right there, it is going to turn into something bigger. We are going to become our own worst enemy. We are going to be the ones who make our life a living hell. We're going to bring hell to earth instead of heaven to earth for ourselves and our own personal life. And sometimes on a bigger scale, if you're like responsible for more people in your life, you could bring hell to their lives too because you're so consumed with this is going bad and I have to focus on this. Instead of looking for your blessings, having gratitude for the things that you do have, and trust that by having faith in the things that you don't have yet, as if you do have them, that they'll come to pass. Instead of focusing on things like that, you're focused on the problems. You're going to bring that into reality. So when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling like you don't have something, your energy and your attention are on the same thing. What you don't have, the lack and the fear. If your attention is there, you're screwed. I put down, I got little notes on this one. So my question is, are you putting too much effort into what you don't want? Because if you're putting too much into what you don't want, as the kids say, you're cooked. You're cooking yourself. You're in the pressure cooker of life that can be turned off any minute. You have the ability to turn it off. You have the ability to stop this stuff. But oftentimes we say, oh, I can't just do that. I can't. You're not being the man or the woman of life. You're being a victim of life. You're letting life happen to you. You're looking for problems and saying, why does this always happen to me? This is horrible. This always happens. This is so me. This awful. That's my luck. You have that negative view of life. And you're your own worst enemy there. You're asking for that. In a way, you are praying for more of that because you've identified anything you put I am before will become your reality. I'm so unlucky in love. I'm so unlucky all the time. Everything doesn't work out in my favor. That just goes to show you, don't get your hopes up. I'm a realist. I'm not a pessimist. I'm just a realist. I know the way things are. You are focused on problems instead of solutions. You're focused on fears instead of love. You need to change what you're focused on. When you change what you focus on, when you give gratitude for what you do have, when you trust the process, and when you don't have a need for something, it means you have it mentally. It might not be here physically, but you have it mentally. And in time, the three-dimensional space of life will reveal what you want. You'll be more motivated to take steps towards what you want. You'll be more motivated, not just to take steps that you want, but the doors, metaphysical doors will open. You'll be able to see things you couldn't see before. Oftentimes we get blessings and we don't even see them. We block them. We block our blessings because we don't want to see them, because it contradicts our story of our self-concept of who we are. We are identified as a loser. So we can't walk through the door of success. We can't walk through the door of being a champion. We can't walk through the door of having that relationship, of taking that opportunity, because we're afraid of it. We're blocking our own blessings when we do that. So when I say change where your attention goes, change the way you think and change the way you look at things. What's that famous line? When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change those things, life changes for you. I can't explain it. As they say, it's the strangest secret of life. As Earl Nightingale said, it's the strangest secret of life that whatever you think about most will become your life. You have no choice but to focus on the good. You have no choice but to find the silver lining in everything. When I say you can't fuck this up and it's all working out in your favor, you are supposed to look for the good in life. Every bad situation has a good situation behind it. There's a silver, they call it the silver lining. Neville talks about the bridge of incidents you have to cross to reach your manifestation. The bridge of incidents, I always picture, I'm telling you what I picture. I picture on Shrek where him and Donkey got to cross that bridge, right? There's fog and there's all this stuff and it's a rickety bridge. On the other side is the princess. On the other side is success and a franchise, right? There's on the other side of that bridge is success. But sometimes the slats fall out, but you didn't fall off. If you were to sit there and be like, oh my goodness, you'd be like Donkey, right? Oh, I could have fell down here. Oh my God, this is so horrible. Let's turn back. Let's turn back. If you turn back, you're going to be sitting in the same situation that you were before. And it's never, ever going to change, and you never have a chance of it changing. But if you keep going through it, maybe the bridge snaps and it falls around and stuff like that. But somehow, some way, by the grace of God, and you're trusting God, you are going to get to the other side of it. You will be successful. You just have to trust that you're going to get there. You have to see yourself on that other side already, where they're standing there laughing that they've already made it. That's what you have to do. Just because you can't see, hear, or visualize or anything at the moment in 3D, you have to be able to go within that mentally to give yourself the confidence to keep pushing through. When you're in the gym and you're killing yourself and you're struggling and you can't push anymore, holding that vision of how you want to look will push you to do those extra reps. It will push you that knowing that this brief moment of pain and uncomfortability is going to pay off in the long run. All of life is connected. Fitness, movies, religion, manifestation, all this stuff, all of us, all is one and the one is the all, right? We're all connected. Everything works out in your favor, but you have to trust it. You have to look for how it works out in your favor. And before the video gets too long, I'm trying to keep it at 10, we're at 15. I want to tell you guys, I believe in you. You got this. I love you. You can't fuck this up. It's going to work out in your favor. whatever else I usually say at the end of these. I love you guys very much, and I'll see you in the next one.